My absolute favorite dish is salmon dressed up with some herbs and lemon. And my kids' favorite dish is the Quest salad, which is Brussels sprouts, bacon, and kale from my garden. I'm Rage, roller derby queen.
Our guest today is Vicky, also known by her roller derby name, Rage. She works out her frustrations on the roller derby rink, and we want to keep her happy. Today we're preparing seared wild pink salmon and warm Brussels sprout and apple slaw with crispy kale and apple cider aioli. We're making her dish my way. I'm Garrett Schack, and that's what we're cooking on the coast.
Is Rage. We've got Rage jamming for the Eaves of Destruction. Number 42, Meg for Mercy, jamming for Grave Danger. Both teams full strength. And Meg for Mercy strapped up at the front, getting some offensive assistance from Ponyo Knees. But Rage looking on the outside. Knee-high Nightmare at the front, holding that line of defense. But Rage grabs lead jammer. Rage has had got lead in the second jam, so 2 for 2 on lead.
Today we're jamming with special guest Vicky Stanswich. Or should we be calling you Rage?
Works for me. Hi, Garrett.
Perfect. Rage, are you ready for a little kitchen competition?
Yep, sure am.
All right, we're going to prepare wild pink salmon with a Brussels sprout and apple slaw, crispy kale, and an apple cider aioli. How's that sound?
Delicious.
All right, well, let's get started. First of all, I want to say those shoes are pretty cool, but I guess we don't call them shoes, do we?
No, they're roller skates.
Roller
They're
skates.
pretty fancy ones, too. They're antics.
They're antics, eh?
Yeah.
Special fancy name, and I see they got toe guards on there. Like, it must get pretty rough out there on the...
It does. It's a full contact sport, so yeah, it definitely gets rough, but that's why we have all of our protective
gear. Yeah. Perfect.
Keep us
Okay.
safe.
Let's get those off the counter because we don't want to get anything on them, more importantly. And I see you brought some of your own kale, so this is pretty exciting. I love that we can grow kale all year round here. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you've just got a field of it at home.
Yeah, it just grows like weeds in my backyard. It's great. I let it go to seed and it just spreads all over my yard.
And isn't it great that you can just, like, you could literally just go outside and pluck off some of the young shoots and eat them in a salad. Or, I mean, they're so versatile. You can cook them. Like, there's amazing things we can do with kale. Yeah. So, you've probably tried this at home already, but we're going to make some crispy kale. So kind of like kale chips.
Yeah.
My kids love them. So it's, I can't get them to eat kale like this or cooked or anything like that. But they'll eat it all day long if I make chips. So we're going to just dress these with a little bit of vegetable oil. And then I'll get you to sprinkle on some of that nutritional yeast there.
This one?
Yeah, have you used nutritional yeast before?
Yeah, I use it on my popcorn.
Yeah, same here.
It tastes kind of cheesy and yummy.
Yeah, that's it. And give some nutritional benefits, right?
Yes, for sure.
And some salt. There we go. Give a little more there.
A little more?
Yep. Pretty Looking good. Okay. So, roller derby. What inspired you to get into that and make all that happen? Because it's a pretty different sport, right? Like, it's unique for sure.
I'd never played a contact sport or been on roller skates before. I went and saw the Eaves of Destruction take on, I think it was Evil from Edmonton back in October 2008, and I just thought it was so cool.
Nice. I'm going to throw this in the oven. Keep the story going.
Okay, cool. They were doing these 180 spins on their knee pads and getting hit all over the track, and I wanted to try it so bad. So I got in touch with the Eaves of Destruction, showed up, borrowed some gear from another player, and tumbleweeded all over the track, falling all over the place. I was like Bambi on ice.
That's so cool.
Holding onto the walls. Yeah.
And so your coach affectionately nicknamed you Tumbleweed.
That's what my coach affectionately named me, yes.
That's awesome.
And then at a much later date, I was named Ellen Rage.
Rage.
Like Ellen Page from the movie Whip It.
Okay, yeah.
That's why my number is 22.
Oh, there you go.
Throwback to that movie.
And I'm assuming now you don't tumble around the rink quite the same as you used to, hey?
No, maybe when I'm playing co-ed a little bit. There can be some pretty big guys to go up against.
Yeah, and you're tumbling to get out from underneath them and all that kind of stuff.
It's
just smart
heat,
playing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're gonna get into the heat now because I got a knife there for you. Okay. Do you mind just chopping these Brussels sprouts up? So just fine like that. Lay it down on the flat side and then just run your knife through it. They don't have to be perfect because we're gonna throw them in the saute pan here.
You are super fancy with your knife skills, obviously.
Well, you just keep those fingers tucked in because there's no guards to protect us from that. In the meantime, I've got a pan going over here. I've already sliced up some shallot, which I'm gonna throw into a dry pan. And I seem to recall you saying you didn't mind bacon with your Brussels sprouts, right?
Bacon and Brussels sprouts go so well together.
Yeah, they sure do. So we're gonna put in a fair bit of bacon in there.
Yum.
And what we want to do here is let the onions and the bacon kind of cook together. And whenever I'm doing this at home, this combination of flavors gets like, the kids come down, they're like, oh, Dad, what's for dinner? All of a sudden they start asking questions, right?
They come running.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just gonna slice up a little garlic here as well. There we are. And into the pan. So those kale chips that we're doing there, they're going to take about 25 to 30 minutes to cook. Sorry, you were going to say?
What temperature did you put them in?
Usually about 300 degrees. You can go, like if you go any higher, they kind of burn before they get crispy, right? So we definitely don't want to go too high. Lower the better, but in the interest of time today, we're going to go a little bit hotter there on 300. Okay. Alrighty. You're doing great there. Give these another stir. So you see how I didn't add any fat at the beginning of this, right? Like there was no oil or anything in there.
Yeah.
And because we're gonna get lots with this bacon, so we don't really have to worry about it. All right. Let me help you with a few of those.
Okay.
All right. We'll just get through them, right?
Teamwork.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. This would be like the version of me grabbing your hand and whipping you. I don't know what it's called. The whip.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
And there's different kinds of whips that you can do.
Really?
You can go outside whips, inside whips, shirt whips.
Shirt whips. So like
that's my specialty.
Grab a hold of the shirt and send you flying?
Come up from the outside. I see my player right there. I grab onto their shirt and whip myself around.
And that accelerates you to like burst through.
I take their energy and get out.
And that's how you score points? I'm a roller derby newbie, that's for sure. So
you score points by passing the opposing blocker's hips after the initial pass through.
Okay.
So that there's 4 blockers on each side and 2 jammers, 1 from each side.
Yeah.
And so when the whistle blows, the jammers need to break through the pack, and whoever gets out first gets lead.
All right.
It's a strategic position. You can call off the jam at any point in time if you have lead. Otherwise, it goes for the full 2 minutes. On the second pass round, you start scoring points by passing the opposing blocker's hips.
So the first time you're just setting up the chess match, and then after that, then you're really going for it.
Then you're going for it.
Okay.
Yeah. And the blockers are doing offense and defense at the same time. So they're trying to simultaneously stop the opposing jammer while getting their jammer through the pack as quickly as possible. Did you want me to start chopping this up?
In a moment, but yes, you will be in charge of chopping apples. Okay. I will tell you, roller derby sounds a little more confusing than, I think I'd have to see it. It's, for me, like cricket. Have you ever seen cricket?
No.
Well, cricket's the same thing. Like, you can't explain it. You just got to watch it. So how often do you play?
I practice about 6 hours a week. Okay. And then train almost every day on my own.
Oh,
outside of that, doing weight training and
yeah. That's a serious commitment. So do you have a strict diet regime that you follow? Like, you said today that your favorite dish is salmon with Brussels sprouts and kale. I mean, that's all super healthy stuff.
Well, with the bacon. Yeah, add a little bit of fun in there.
yeah, we got to have some fun, right? So what we're going to do next, we're just about wrapping up this part of it, but our salad is just about finished. I don't want to cook that too far because I don't want it mushy, right? I still want some crunch from the Brussels sprouts.
And that bright green is beautiful.
I know, it does look good, doesn't it? I added some apple cider vinegar and a little bit of lemon juice in there just to brighten up the flavors and all that kind of stuff. A little bit of salt. We'll finish with the apples, but not just yet. First, we got to go to break.
Okay.
Alrighty. We'll be back later in the show with Vicky to pull together our seared wild pink salmon, warm Brussels sprout, and apple slaw. So let's keep this turning a little bit here. We can actually probably turn that off now. It's back to our kitchen. We're working with Rage on my version of her favorite dish. Seared wild pink salmon with warm Brussels sprout and apple slaw, crispy kale, and apple cider aioli. All right, Rage, what do you think?
Sounds really good.
I'm not tumbling through this, am I?
No, not at all.
No tumbleweed nickname for me, which is great.
Pro.
Pro tumbleweed, maybe. Some days it feels like that. I've got our Brussels sprout sort of warm salad thing is on the go there. The bacon looks delicious, and that's nice and crisp. We're going to add the apples at the last second.
Okay.
So we don't want to make applesauce. We just want that crispy crunch of the apples and some of the nice sweetness from that, okay? What I think we should do next is get our salmon searing, and then we can go on to making our aioli, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to pop over there. Meanwhile, you've done some pretty incredible stuff with this roller derby thing. So Team Indigenous, tell me and our friends out there watching what that's all about while I go grab the salmon.
Okay.
All right?
So Team Indigenous is a roller derby team that was put forth to the World Cup. It's made up of Indigenous skaters from all over the world. We're from 4 different continents, from Argentina, Samoa, all over Canada and the US. And we didn't meet in person until the Tuesday before the World Cup, which
really?
started on Thursday. So we had 3 hours of practice together. We ran about 15 minutes of scrimmage type scenarios, and then we went up against Team Italy.
And then thrown into the world circuit.
Yep. Yeah,
Holy smokes.
We played against Team Italy in a half-hour game, and
How'd you do?
well, we ended up losing by 25 points or so,
Okay.
which actually isn't that bad considering Team Italy has been together for many, many years, practicing together, and we had never even scrimmaged together. So that was a really cool experience. And then next up, we went up against Team Iceland,
Okay.
and we beat them by 160 points.
Holy smokes.
I got lead jump 100% of the time. So
That's crazy.
that was pretty cool.
That's quite the point spread. So,
Yeah.
so this was at the Roller Derby World Cup. Is that
That was
right?
at the Roller Derby World Cup, which was held in Manchester, England on February 1st through to the 4th
Wow,
of
that-
2018.
Of 2018. That's
Yeah.
pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an honor anyway, right? To go to any kind of World Cup. I mean, it's really
It was
neat.
incredible, an incredible honor, and it was the first time ever that an Indigenous team had competed on the world stage in any sport, never mind roller derby. So that was an incredible honor to be a part of.
Well,
Of the inaugural team of Team Indigenous.
I'm a little starstruck. I mean, you made it for all those continents, and you were there, a girl from Victoria.
I know. I'm the first skater from Vancouver Island to go to the World Cup.
That's brilliant. That is really cool. I'm really impressed. All right, enough about you. Let's get back to my cooking
Yeah,
show here, okay?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Priorities.
So, yeah, exactly. We gotta eat, right? We gotta keep the
I'm
body
hungry.
going. So I've just started searing the salmon. So you see there, just a couple nice pieces of pink salmon.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna crisp up the skin side. So I'm gonna put it on kind of a medium heat. Might just turn it down just a little bit. And we're just gonna let that cook away on the skin side so that gets kind of crispy, because you can eat salmon skin and it's quite delicious.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, we wanna make this a sauce for it. And I understand, so there's some gluten and dairy issues flying around?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I don't
good-
like being that person, but
hey, that's all right. It's better than feeling terrible when you're eating something,
this
right?
is true. Yeah.
So we're gonna make a little aioli. So
Okay.
a mayonnaise-based sauce, which you can obviously enjoy. We need some egg yolks. Get out of there. Sorry about that. Let me grab a spoon from underneath here. Where are they? Get our egg yolk in there.
Should I start blending it now? Or wait until everything's in there?
Yeah, and you know what? Let's put the blender in there. So I affectionately call this the boat motor. You can see why, right?
Yep.
Kind of looks like one. We're gonna add a little apple cider vinegar. Go ahead. You can... There we go. Just a touch of apple juice. Again, that's just gonna add some sweetness and a little bit more of that apple flavor. And now we're gonna slowly add some vegetable oil. So you wouldn't want to use olive oil in this, so the whole time you're gonna want to keep that squeezed.
Okay.
So we're gonna create like an emulsion, and it'll thicken up like mayonnaise.
Gotcha.
You don't want to use vegetable oil or olive oil, because if you did, it would taste just like the olive oil, right? So you want a neutral taste. So you can use grapeseed oil or something like that, but in this case, we're going with just some straight veggie oil. And never just dump it all in there. You'll just end up with a big mess.
Okay.
Slowly with the blender going the whole time, and we should get a really nice velvety sauce here. Almost there. Awesome. So let's have a look at that, and we'll give it a little taste. We haven't added any salt yet. Before we have a peek over at our, just set it down on the cutting board, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, there we go, thank you. I think it's pretty tasty. It's tart. I think it's going to go really nicely with our dish. Give that a try.
That is tart.
What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah? Doesn't need any salt or anything?
Maybe a little bit of
All right,
salt.
well, you go ahead and salt. I'm going to check these salmon. So what I'm going to
Should I
do...
use the blender again?
No, just put it in and we can stir it. There's another spoon underneath there if you want to grab it. I'm going to flip these salmon over and see how they are. The nice thing about pink is that they cook really quickly. Ideally, you don't want them to stick to your pan. That just happens sometimes. And we lose all our skin, but that's okay.
Oh no.
I know, right? Tumbleweed. That's all right. We'll still be able to. We'll salvage it. This is what happens when you're really cooking. Like, this isn't a make-believe TV show, right?
No, totally.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a little squeeze of some lemon, and actually, maybe I'll get you just to squeeze the lemon over top of that while I grab our kale. So
Okay.
I pre-did some kale. Your kale's beautiful, and I'm looking forward to eating that when it's ready.
Okay.
The stuff I did a little bit earlier is ready and in the oven now.
The
Hopefully
magic of
equally as nice.
television.
Well, exactly. So look at this one. This is called dinosaur kale, or Lanciano.
It's very cool.
All right, switch sides again.
Okay.
And now we got to start plating. We're going to get everything to the cutting board here.
Okay.
Let's tuck that off to the side a little bit. Clean up our mess. Yep, perfect. So we're going to use this fun little cutting board here just because we have it. Why not, right? What do we need to do to finish this guy?
The apples.
Apples, yeah. So we're just going to throw those right in there. And I want to add a little more salt and maybe squeeze the rest of your lemon in here. Okay. Toss it around. It's kind of the fun part. You do that at home?
I'm not very good at it though.
I know, right? It makes a
But I
huge mess,
try.
and then you end up having to clean it up. That's the worst part.
No, I have a dog. That's why I have dogs.
Yeah, fair enough.
And they clean it up for you.
They do. They are great. We recently got a dog, and they are great for cleaning up the kitchen floor. That's for sure. I'm a little less careful at home now. It's funny. There we go. It's usually his fault things are spilling anyway because he's underneath the foot. Okay, so a little bit on there like that. We'll find our piece of salmon here. Yeah, see, we got a presentation side anyway. There we go. Some of this crispy kale. Kind of want to just crunch this one up so that you get a little bit with each bite. And then we can try some too. You want to try it? You're gonna have kale in your teeth, guaranteed. And then just to finish it up, we're gonna drizzle with a little bit of our sauce here. A little bit of our, sort of a loose mayonnaise, right? There we go. Maybe put a little piece of lemon on there. Let's see the teeth. Nope, no kale,
good?
you're good. Yeah,
Right.
you're laughing. You're laughing. We can smile at the camera now.
Okay.
And there we have it. Seared wild salmon with Brussels sprout and apple slaw, crispy kale, and our apple cider aioli. What do you think?
It looks beautiful.
Should we try it?
Yeah.
All right, let's give it a bite.
Duh.
There you go. Duh.
That slaw is delicious. The mayo's awesome.
And pink salmon. I mean, I don't know why it has such a bad rap.
It's delicious. Thank you so much.
And your dish done my way. What do you think?
It was awesome.
You did a good job?
Yeah.
Think you could try this one at home?
I think so.
Yeah? Kids will like it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. There you have it. Seared wild pink salmon with warm Brussels sprout and apple slaw, crispy kale, and apple cider aioli. How does it taste?
Awesome.
Awesome. Perfect. Cool. Thanks so much for being here today, Vicki.
Thanks for having me. This is delicious.
And now for my favorite part of the show, the beverage pairing. With me today from Rathjen Cellars is Geneviève. Hi, Geneviève.
Hi.
I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly, and I apologize.
No worries.
What have you brought for us today to pair with the salmon?
Well, I brought our flagship series with Rathjen Cellars today. I brought our Pinot Gris because it's aged on lees. It's got this nice Pinot Grigio style as well, a lot of acidity to go with the fish, but I think the aging of the wine will go really well with the Brussels sprouts and bacon.
Very cool. So I noticed the bottles are wax dipped. You don't see that too often anymore.
No, this is our higher price point wines, so we wanted to make them just a little nicer. We spent a lot of time in the cellars working with them, so we wanted the bottles to look really nice. But they're super easy to open because they're cut with plastic, so unlike the old style, you can have a mess free.
I like it.
Yeah.
You pour like a pro.
Thank you.
You've done this once or twice before, have you?
I am. I'm a certified sommelier from Montreal.
Very nice. And you've been working with Rathjen Cellars to get the wine program up and running? And
Yeah, I work in the cellar as well and in the vineyards.
oh, wow. Lucky girl. That sounds like a dream job.
Yeah, definitely. And we all have children, so we definitely want to work as naturally and organically as we can because we have them running around.
It's such a priority these days. So this is an organic winery then?
Definitely.
Very neat. Very neat. Well, that wine has a really lovely balance to it. Hopefully it...
Yeah, Pinot grows really well on Vancouver Island.
Very nice. And you were saying it, Matt, you're absolutely right. The fattiness of the bacon, a little bit of that smokiness, it goes really well with this wine.
Definitely. And with the lee aging, it's just nice and rich to go with the salmon as well.
Well, I really look forward to coming out to the peninsula and trying some of these wines.
Yeah, definitely come down to the tasting room or look us up online.
Absolutely, I will for sure. This is great, thank you. Again, thanks so much for being here. You really knocked it out of the park with this pairing again. You really know your stuff.
Thank you.
Check out our website. You'll find information on today's show and maybe a few surprises. I'm Garrett Schack. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to savor the flavor.